Red Cafe.
What would the music be without the sounds?
And the beat goes on, 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 and the beat.
Here's an Evo 6 standard flywheel that we've just taken out of the car. The customer's been complaining about it slipping. It's a fairly common problem we've been having with the 5 and 6s, that even after we put in a heavy duty clutch in it, they're still slipping. And here's the clutch disc. It was used in it, and you can see on the outside, it's just worn on these outside edges. What we did is we did a bit of searching.
Can you just show me again whereabouts it was worn and how that sits in relationship with the flywheel?
You can see that it's worn just between here and here. That's where it's wearing on. You can see that shiny surface.
It's just over here. Yep. So what you're saying is it's actually gripping on the outer side. The clutch itself is actually gripping on the outer side of the flywheel rather than the whole space.
Correct. It's only using around 1/3 of the surface area. That's the part that sits on the flywheel, and that's the standard clutch cover that's used on the 5 and 6s, which clamps the two together. What we found was,
Before you go any further, Pete, can you explain how that sits in relationship with a car?
This is the flywheel.
So we've just got an Evo 8 for it as an example.
Right. Bolted onto the back of the motor is the flywheel. That's attached directly to the crankshaft. And then all the clutch and everything is bolted to that, which then connects to the gearbox. In the front wheel drive cars, the engines run this way, whereas in a rear wheel drive, the gearbox usually sit along the back of the motor, so usually the flywheel will sit that way in the car, and the drive goes straight backwards. The gearbox is here, transfer cases are here, and you can see the rear drive shafts here that go to the rear wheels. We did a bit of investigating and found that the factory flywheels are very thin from factory and they start to warp. If you put a straight edge across the flywheel, I've got, there's 0.55 of a millimetre. So what's actually happened to this flywheel is it's actually bowed like this. So over time, what happens is the flywheel, the clutch cover actually pulls on the flywheel in that kind of manner. Yep. And with all the heat and use, the flywheel eventually gets stuck in a curve like that, and that's shown.
So basically the factory flywheel, because of its just original design and because of the thinness of its design, over time we wear and tear, we start to see a bit of a concave shape.
That's the bow you can see in there.
And as a result, when you replace the clutch and you put an aftermarket clutch on there, you're only getting 1/3 of the clutch plate actually attaching itself to the flywheel.
When we put a new clutch in, you have to machine the surface so it's a dead flat surface. Here's one that's been machined up, and you can see the finish on it. That's all being ground down. If we do it to a 5 and 6 clutch, we machine it even thinner, so it's thinner to start off with, and now we've machined it so it's even thinner again, so it's even more weaker and even more prone to being flexed. Usually you put in a heavy duty clutch cover, that puts even more strain and more flex on the flywheel, so it will bow even quicker, and your clutch will not last anywhere near as long as it should if you're using a factory flywheel. So in order to fix that, we've got new flywheels machined up, new steel flywheels that are a lot thicker, they'll last a lot longer, give you a lot better pedal feel, and you'll have full contact surface area because it will not flex. This is a factory 7 and 8 flywheel. You can see the thickness of that. Compare that to a 5 and 6 flywheel.
There's a big difference.
There's a massive difference in it. So a 7 and 8 flywheel can be machined. 5 and 6s, definitely, if you're going to put power through your car and wanting to upgrade your clutch, New flywheel is needed.
Pop bottles, waitress can't call me. Ask about me, got it cheaper than Jeezy. Red cap.